Viewers, 24 hours after a US military aircraft carrying 104 illegal Indian immigrants landed at the Amritsar airport, the issue of the manner in which they were deported echoed in the parliament. Now, an official video has shown how the deportees were cuffed and shackled, and many claim that they were restrained throughout the flight. Opposition members trooped into the well of the House and raised slogans over the handcuffing of deportees before staging protests outside. Amidst noisy protests by the opposition and repeated adjournments, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar asserted that India was engaging with the Trump administration to ensure the deportees were not mistreated during flights. Listen in to what the External Affairs Minister had to say.
Honorable members would be aware that the process of deportation is not a new one. I repeat, not a new one, and has been ongoing for several years. 2009, number of deportees 734. 2010, 799. 2011, 597. 2012, 530. The standard operating procedure for deportation by aircraft used by ICE, that is effective from 2012. I repeat, that is effective from 2012. Provides for the use of restraints. However, we have been informed by ICE that women and children are not restrained. We are, of course, engaging the US government to ensure that the returning deportees are not mistreated in any manner during the flight. At the same time, the House will appreciate that our focus should be on strong crackdown on the illegal migration industry, while taking steps to ease visas for the legitimate traveler.
Earlier opposition leaders including Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Akhilesh Yadav and those from the left parties staged a protest in the Parliament complex. Some of the opposition leaders were handcuffed, carried placards that read "Humans, not prisoners." Listen in.
अब विश्व गुरु और विश्व गुरु बनने का रास्ता क्या है? ऐसा ही होगा विश्व गुरु बनने का रास्ता कि आपके भारतीय लोगों को हथकड़ी लगा करके भेजा जाएगा भारत।
बहुत बातें की गई कि मोदी जी, ट्रंप जी बहुत अच्छे मित्र हैं और मोदी जी ने ऐसे क्यों होने दिया? क्या हम अपना जहाज नहीं भेज सकते थे उनको लेने के लिए? इस तरह से क्या इंसानों के साथ बर्ताव किया जाता है कि उनको हथकड़ियां पहना के, बेड़ियां पहना के भेजा यहाँ पे?
It is very shameful, and to see that Indians are being treated badly, and the 56-inch chest Prime Minister is keeping mum when Indians are being chained and treated like criminals in the flights and when they are in their boarding.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest now. Joining us is Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have with us Dr. Anand Raghunathan, who is an author. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, is joining us. Also with us is Tausif Ahmed Khan, lawyer and political analyst. Advocate Amardeep Singh Dharni, spokesperson of the Shiromani Akali Dal, also joining us. Let me begin with you. Ravi Srivastava, the question that is being posed by the government is this. And you heard Mr. S. Jaishankar in the parliament. Certainly, of course, they're going to appeal to the US government to ensure that no Indian is mistreated. But at the end of the day, the larger question is that which country can support illegal immigration? It is something that's happened outside of the jurisdiction of India, and the laws of that country, the procedures of that country are bound to apply. Ravi.
Madhav, first of all, nobody is objecting to that. They were illegal immigrants. They had gone to US by the fraudulent methods, by crossing borders here and there. They should be tried as per the law. It's absolutely fine. Issue here is the maltreatment, the way they were brought back, a 40-hour flight in which there was only a single toilet there. They were handcuffed, their legs were shackled. This is inhuman. No democratic country in the world will accept it. And India should learn, at least from the Colombia and the Mexico, who would refuse that. They said, we will send our planes to pick them back. India would have done it. I quote you an example. If you recall, just 10 or 12 years before, when Dr. Manmohan Singh government was there, one Indian diplomat, Devyani Khobragade, was found guilty of some military maltreatment of her maidservant, and she was to be deported from US. Mr. Dr. Manmohan Singh tightened his screws on the US embassy here in India in such a way that she was with full
I've heard this argument. I've heard this argument, but let's compare apples with apples over here. Certainly what you're saying is not factually, nobody can dispute that, Mr. Ravi Srivastava. I'll grant you that. But the point being made is there have been thousands of deportees, even during the UPA era. Why are we ignoring that? And it's a similar law that has applied at that point of time on them as well. Why are we forgetting this?
The last deportees were brought as late as in November 2024 from US. So it's not a matter that how those they were deported from there and this all happened. But the way these 104 have been treated in the flight, that is one. And second part is, after landing even in India, the Haryana deportees were taken by a policeman with the windows, that barbed windows over there. Is it the way we are going to treat them?
Okay, respond to those 2 points. One is, of course, saying that in Haryana they were taken in a police van. That is the first point being made by Ravi Srivastava. But the larger question he's making is that if Colombia and Mexico can stand up to the US and say, look here, don't treat our citizens in this way. There has to be a minimum basic manner in which human beings are treated. Why can't India do the same is a question coming from Ravi. Tuhin.
Well, good evening, Madhav. Good evening, everybody. First of all, illegal migration is a crime, and all illegal migrants are criminals. Let's accept that. India, while taking back those deported, make sure that proper evidence is provided for each one of them being an illegal migrant. That's point number one. Now, point number two, the US has followed certain standard operating procedures from 2012, which remain unchanged, which include restraining the illegal migrants, but the women and children are not restrained. Having said that, yes, they could have been brought in more humane conditions. That is something which India will take up diplomatically with US. But there are larger questions. The way Congress is overreacting, it seems to be once again showing its soft corner towards illegal migrants within our own country. Let us remember that, from US at least in the last 15 years, these deportations have been a routine affair. 15,000 deportations have taken place with a minimum 700 every year from 2009. Now, when it comes to Kuwait, countries like Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, in 2016, all of a sudden 24,000 people were sent back and they had to bear their own expenses. So the Congress and the opposition should not exaggerate this particular instance unless, they have a malified intent to once again, show their soft corner.
Let me bring in Tausif on that. Tausif Ahmed Khan, is there some malified intent as is being stated by the BJP spokesperson? Because he says, look here, there have been worse conditions. Kuwait, Saudi have deported Indians and they've made them pay for their journey back to India, point number one. And point number two, does this show the kind of soft corner that several opposition parties, and he is of course alleging the Congress, has towards illegal immigrants coming in from Bangladesh and other countries into India? Is that what's reflected here? Tausif.
If we go by the data, we'll have to blame the Narendra Modi government for having soft corner towards the illegal immigrants, because first of all, the number of illegal immigrants, according to the data presented by US, from 2016 and accepted by the Indian government from 2016 has doubled now if we compare the data of the illegal immigrants staying in US. Secondly, this is a moe moment for the Prime Minister Modi and the BJP chaps. The BJP and RSS chaps have been doing Havan Puja so that Trump could win the election, so that Trump could come on power and give some benefit to India. Whereas exactly opposite has happened. Trump threatened the Indian government, if you don't take back the illegal immigrants, we will snap trade ties with you. Under that pressure, the Indian government had to agree to take back the illegal immigrants. Fine, you take back the illegal immigrants. But at least, how could the Indian government agree on allowing the US military people to treat Indians as a war criminals, as in inhuman condition?
Okay, nobody's disputing the fact that the treatment is incorrect. But the point over here, all right, let me take that question that you made. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, is this a moe moment for all the Trump fanboys who now, are seeing fellow Indians come back in this inhuman manner, as Tausif has posed? Would you like to respond to him?
It's a tragedy that Tausif is not the foreign minister of this country, because according to him, Trump taking care of illegal immigrants who have done a criminal act, Indian illegal immigrants, is a plus point or advantage for India. Am I hearing this right? I mean, are there laws in the world, in the country, that people follow? Or are there only Sharia laws that are to be followed? I mean, I'm confused out here. Number one, let's get a few facts right. Number one, these are, unfortunately, I would say, because they are Indians and they are fellow Indians, they have committed a criminal act. So they have to pay for the crimes that they have committed. Now, number two, why should there be sympathy for anyone who's committed a criminal act, who might have spent, yes, unfortunately, thousands of dollars into getting to a country illegally? Yes, that is tragic. But the fact of the matter is, Madhav, I mean, I'm amazed that Tausif is saying that, that is somehow to extract sympathy. Somebody is creating a criminal act. Number two, the fact of the matter is, as Tuhin also has stated, and the US Department has also stated, they are religiously scrupulously following the laws that have been in place since 2012, when UPA was in charge in India. Now, women and children were not shackled. The men were shackled. Yes, it's a fact. Do we like it? Do we not? This is something to be talked about between the two countries, but it is a law that has been there for 12 years. You can't deny that. It's a fact. Number three, I'd rather that America pay for the transport than India pay tens of thousands of dollars to actually send our planes there and to get them back, get criminals back. I mean, why is this even under discussion is beyond me. All those tens of thousands of dollars that are saved can be sent to people, that Tausif would say, are requiring a housing or some, food, daily food or something like that. That dollar saved can be put to that use.
100 people in one
logic
handcuffed, their hands and their legs in shackles, and you are justifying that. Only one washroom for one toilet for more than 100 illegal immigrants, and they are brought inside the aircraft. They are in handcuffs inside the aircraft, legs shackled. You are justifying. If that had been, if your relative,
Tausif, let me come in here. Tausif, let me come in here. Tausif, one second. Let me just come in on this. Tausif, 1 second. Nobody is justifying any mistreatment, but the point is, it is unpleasant, Tausif. 1 second, just calm down. Listen to my question, Tausif. Simple question. If there is an intruder who comes into your residence, God forbid, Tausif, please calm down and listen to my question. If there is an intruder who comes into your house, will you call the police or not? Simple question to you. Will you call the police? Will they not take away that person as per the police procedures?
This is not a question of intruder. This is a question of deportation.
Sir, they are deported because they are intruders. They are not legally allowed in that country. That's the whole point I'm making.
At least they deserve dignity.
No, nobody is challenging that. Unfortunately, they are in a police of a foreign jurisdiction. You're a lawyer, sir. You're a lawyer. Just 1 second. Listening to me. You're a lawyer. You know that police in different jurisdictions have different procedures. And if they have this procedure, they unfortunately believe these people are flight risk because of what they've done. Is there much that the government of India can do?
We don't tie their legs.
But that's certainly not for the government of India to decide. They can at best request the United States. But let me bring in Tuhin, at the end of the day, the tying of legs, all of this is completely unacceptable. India cannot take this standing down. That appears to be the message coming from Tausif as well as Ravi Srivastava. I'm also going to bring in the SED spokesperson very soon. Quick response from you, Tuhin.
Well, Madhav, I like the innocence with which you asked him, what will you do when intruder enters your house? Mamata Banerjee has shown in Bengal that she will welcome all illegal Bangladeshis. The way she has settled illegal Bangladeshis in areas like Murshidabad, on the outskirts of Kolkata, and with agents like Firad Hakim acting, as the facilitator. Obviously, they have a soft corner towards illegal migrants. See, I am repeating. They could have sent back the illegal migrants in more humane conditions. At least India believes in packing off illegal migrants in more humane conditions. Even in neighboring Assam, 30,000 illegal migrants have been deported in the last 30 years. And they have all been deported, giving them due respect. So yes, certain humane conditions should have been there when they were deported. But that does not take away from the fact that the scourge of illegal migration is a global sin. It's a global problem. It's altering demographies world over, and I think it needs to be curbed now before it's too late.
Okay, Advocate Amardeep Singh Dharni, spokesperson of SAD, who's also joining us. Advocate Dharni, is there something that you believe the government could have done at a stage like this? Or, because at the end of the day, many will say it is their police force, their border force, and they are the ones who have to implement it. What can the government, beyond a point, apart from making a diplomatic appeal, really do?
Sir, can I speak in Hindi?
जी जी जरूर बोलिए.
हाँ, देखिए माधव, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि देखिए देयर इज ए लॉ एंड ह्यूमन राइट्स, और ये भाई साहब जो पहले बोल रहे थे ना, मैं इनसे ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि आज जयशंकर जी जो स्टेटमेंट दे रहे थे पार्लियामेंट में, मैं उनसे पूछना चाहता हूं, देखिए जो मीडिया होता है या जो फिल्म्स होती है, ये आईना होती है हमारे समाज का, हमारी सोसाइटी का. जब पहले एक फिल्म बनी थी, आपने देखा होगा, चल मैक्सिको चलिए, चलो आजा मैक्सिको चलिए, और दूसरी फिल्म है जो नेशनल लेवल पे बनी थी बॉम्बे से, वो थी शाहरुख खान की, और वो फिल्म थी डंकी. उसमें बिल्कुल क्लियर दिखाया गया था, और उसके बाद भी इतने जो एजेंट्स हैं जगह जगह पे, आपको स्कूल के इतने बोर्ड नहीं दिखेंगे जितने एजेंट्स के बोर्ड वहां पे लगे हुए थे. अब ये बात करिए कि कोई भी आदमी जो अमेरिका की या कनाडा की या किसी भी कंट्री की धरती पे जाता है, वहां पे एक रूल ऑफ लॉ होता है. रूल ऑफ लॉ के मुताबिक जो है उसको निकालना होता है या उसके खिलाफ डिपोटेशन ऑर्डर करने होते हैं. मगर ये बात जो, ये देखिए, ये सबसे बड़ा इंसल्टिंग है जो ये पंजाब के लिए है. देखिए, हिंदुस्तान, भारत की सरकार को ये पता था कि वो जहाज आ रहा है, उस जहाज को दिल्ली में भी उतारा जा सकता था, गुजरात में भी उतारा जा सकता, मगर उसको पंजाब में उतारा गया. और पंजाब में उतारा कैसे गया? हाथ में हथकड़ी, पांव में बेड़ी. ये चीज दिखा के आप भारतीय लोगों का ये
Dr. Ranganathan, is there a deliberate strategy in choosing Punjab? He says it's an insult to the people of Punjab. Your response, Dr. Ranganathan, please.
Now, one second, let me get one fact clear. If you follow the law, you are legal. If you do not follow the law, if you violate the law, you are a criminal. Now, the previous gentleman, with due respect, would he say that holding the capital to ransom in holding all those blockading during the farm laws, were they legal or were they criminal acts? You can ask him, Madhav. But according to me, they were criminal acts. They were illegal. Like the Shine Bagh protest, they were illegal. Supreme Court also said so. There are no two ways about it. If you commit an illegal act, and if you look at, and I've gone through the US State Department's thing, the reason for shackling is that they are hijack risk. Now, yes, you can argue. Mr. Jayashankar argue, yes, well, there is an old person there. He cannot hijack the plane. But who are we to say? They have formed a law. It's a law of their land, it's a law of their country. You want to follow that law? You follow that law. It's as simple as that.
And as much as I agree with you as far as the illegal, agents, etc., and common people get cheated, they get duped. You're absolutely right when you quote the instance of, Donkey, etc. But Mr. Dharni, at the end of the day, if you've broken the law there, as Dr. Ranganathan is saying, there will be consequences as sad as they are. And in fact, all opposition parties should be asking for a crackdown on such agents. Why aren't we seeing that happen?
माधव, नो डाउट वो वहां पे जाते हैं, इलीगली जाते हैं. मेरा ये क्वेश्चन नहीं है. मैं ये कहता हूं, आपको पता है कि दुकानें खुली हुई हैं, आपके सामने इलीगलिटी हो रही है. आपने उन लोगों को जिनके पास कोई लाइसेंसेस नहीं है, उनका कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं रखा. आप पार्लियामेंट पे केवल इतना बोल रहे हो, जयशंकर जी जो बोल रहे हैं, मैं ये डॉलरों की बात कर रहे थे, डॉलर लाते हैं, ये करते हैं, इलीगली रास्ते रोक रखे हैं. ये देखिए, ये डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है. डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में कोई भी कुछ भी कर सकता है. मैं कहता हूं जो क्राइम शुरू होता है,
नहीं सर, प्रोटेस्ट के भी दायरे हैं. प्रोटेस्ट को भी कानून के दायरे में ही किया जा सकता है. Nobody can take law into their own hands in the name of protest. That is not acceptable. I agree with you that everyone is free to protest in a country, but there are limits to that within the framework of legality as well. But Tuhin, very quickly, the question that Mr. Dhani posed, why not crack down on these illegal agents? Because ultimately they are the root cause of this problem, and it's a fact that thousands of our young unemployed youth are spending lakhs of money, perhaps even their family, property and money, and being completely cheated in this manner. Isn't that a legitimate ask?
No, that keeps happening. That keeps happening, and new ones crop up. I feel very sorry for the illegal migrants who, get trapped into this. Imagine, Madhav, some of them are spending up to 1 crore rupees. For what? For being illegal entities in, some foreign land. If they spend half that money in education in India, think of where they would be. But yes, it's a scourge. I think all state governments need to be very aggressive, especially the concerned states where this form of illegal migration is at its peak. Punjab, Gujarat, the state governments need to be, ruthless in cracking down the agencies responsible for it.
All right. Ravi Srivastava, quick response.
I want to ask my friend who's talking about the 1 crore rupees. Nobody gives that 1 crore rupee all accounted. It's all black money. It goes by hawala abroad. It all transacts illegally. There is no bank is going to give you a loan for going to other country illegally.
Yes. So why don't you demand a crackdown on these illegal agents, sir?
Absolutely. My demand is always there. I'm asking one more thing. I'm asking, there were 2 Italian mariners here who were caught on the murder charge of the Indian fishermen, and how they were sent back to to Italy back honorably on the flight. This is because our government is weak. They cannot sustain. They'll just succumb to any pressure for the people coming from...
Okay, quick response of Tuhin. Quick 30-second response, please. Devani Khobrakade, he's citing Italian Marines to suggest that this government hasn't had a very strong foreign policy. That's the suggestion of Ravi Srivastava. Quick response, please. Tuhin.
The government has a very nuanced, very strong and principled foreign policy. Fact is, there are some people, some youngsters who are desperate, and I think it's a wake-up call. This incident, we may not like the visuals. We may not like the visuals of what has happened, the way they have been brought up, but I think it's a wake-up call for all individuals.
Okay.
रवि जी कह रहे हैं कि black money देते हैं, black money वो लोग खर्च करते हैं, बाहर जाने में कोई white money तो होता नहीं है. अगर वही black money जो है अपने को develop करने में, अगर पढ़ाई में खर्च करते हैं,
we'll have to leave it there. Tuhin Sira, Dr. Anand Ragnathan, Ravi Srivastava, Tausif Ahmed Khan, and Advocate Amardeep Singh Dhani. In fact, Tuhin and Anand will continue along with Ravi Srivastava and Tausif for debate number 2. I'd like to thank, in fact, Advocate Amardeep Singh Dhani for joining us on debate number 1.